Okay, hi everyone. My name is Deepika. I am just someone. Let me give you a little bit of an introduction as to what I'm doing here and why I'm here and why I'm taking up your time. I used to be an atheist until maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and then I became spiritual, and I used to talk about, the universe, this, and the universe is helping me, and the universe, whatever. And I switched from that to using the word God less than 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I remember being a little bit annoyed at some people who used to use the word God in every sentence. And I would be like, is it possible for you guys to not use the word God in every single sentence? But now I'm one of those people. Now I'm like, I said, give a disclaimer to my friends, especially my atheist friends from past. I'm like, you know what? I have become one of those people. I know, but that's where I'm at right now. So I'm just warning you, if you want to hang out around me, there's going to be just a lot of usage of the word God. My life is centered around God now. And around March last year, I got introduced to the Gaudiya Vaishnav path, which is the Hare Krishnas. You might have heard of the ISKCON path or the Hare Krishna path. So I'm not fully into them, or I'm not following their exact path, but in general, I'm following their path, and it resonates with me a lot more than anything else that I have come across so far. So the founder of ISKCON is Prabhupada, and the book, the thing that I'm doing right now is reading verse by verse the Bhagavad Gita. There are around 700 verses in the Gita spread across 18 chapters, and I would like to do one video per verse. I don't know how long it'll take per verse. And I am also very curious about other Gita interpretations. I will go over this overall school of thought, which I came across from someone. I'm going to introduce you to him. I'm going to be in the middle, probably going to be looking at other interpretations of the Gita for the same verses and trying to understand. What resonates with me is the Gaudiya Vaishnavism principle, but I am open to others, or at least exploring others as of right now. My main goal in life for the last 6-7 years or so has been personal growth, and so that has been personal growth. And then from last year, I would say, and there's a lot of spiritual growth in that personal growth baked in as well. This kind of takes the goal to a deeper level. Personal growth is, I would say, the path to one of the paths, or one of the parts of the paths to get to God. And this scriptural studies is getting me to catalyze the path of God, and it's getting me to get to the goal, the ultimate goal, which I didn't have with that personal growth. So I will explain how I feel the two of them fit into each other. There's a lot for me to talk about. I'm very excited about this. So I am by no means an expert at that. I don't know anything about Gita. I'm starting right now. So I'm a student. I'm with you. I'm learning along with you. I am the person who is an expert who I'm learning from is, his name is Chaitanya Charan. And in the ISKCON world, men are referred to as Prabhu. So I'm going to refer to him as Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. And the founder of ISKCON is Prabhupada. So I'm going to refer to him as Srila Prabhupada, as that's the convention. And So I'm going to be referring to Chaitanya Charan Prabhu a lot, because he is the person that I'm primarily studying from. Not even Srila Prabhupada as much, even though I do have his Gita. And I'm going to be reading the verse first as I go through the verses, and I'm going to be reading the translation word by word, which Srila Prabhupada has given in his book, which Chaitanya Charan Prabhu is has talked about in his website. So I'm going to refer to Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's websites all over. Every verse I'm going to probably refer to him. So you can see the links and everything in the description about where I'm getting my sources from. Where I'm getting my, source from. I'm sure the actual Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada is also somewhere online and accessible. I will look for the link and I'll post it if I find it. So yeah, but the main thing is for me to just hold myself accountable, and that's why I'm shooting these videos instead of just studying it on my own, because I feel like I'm going to be able to keep a clearer focus if I know that I have to shoot a video about this. And it gets me more excited. It gets me more excited to do this than doing it just on my own. Okay, so the thing that I would love to talk about, so the verse, I'm going to start verse 1 from the next video. And before that, I would love to talk about the thing that Chaitanya Charan Prabhu posted, which got me like very highly excited. He talked about, he put like in Indian philosophies and Hindu philosophies seem to be just all over the place and very random, and there's just so much there and so many different gods and so many different schools of thoughts. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. It's just all over, just everywhere, all over the place, right? So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu in one of his videos explained the different schools of thought. So I'm going to explain that. I don't have the slides or like the beautiful presentation of how to do it, but I'll just explain what I know, and I'll post the link of the video where he does explain that. So he says that there are 9 overall Indian schools of thoughts. I think there should be 10, and I'll explain why. So 3 of them are considered Gnostic, which means atheistic, which is where I was earlier. And 6 of them are considered to be Astic, which means theistic, which means those 6 schools of thoughts believe in God. So I'm referring to my notes here because I wrote down the notes. So the Gnostic schools of thought, the ones which don't believe in God, the atheistic schools of thought, are Buddhism, Jainism, and Charvakism. Charvakism is materialism, which is where everyone is. So now I think I fit into the materialism thing a lot because I'm very materialistic. But I do believe in God, at least right now I believe in God very much. I used to be atheistic, so I used to be that number 3, but now I do believe in God. So I believe that there should be a thing of Charvakism and Astic schools of thought as well. Anyways, I don't know if that's a joke or not. So in the Astic schools of thought, there is Sankhya, Vaisheshika, Yoga. Sankhya is by Kapila, Vaisheshika is by Kannada. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing these correctly. Yoga is by Patanjali. Nyaya, which means logic, is by Gautam. Purva or Karma Mimamsa is by Jaimini. And Vedanta, which is the conclusion of the Veda. So all of these schools of thoughts are Veda accepted. They are not Vedantic, but because only the last one is the Vedanta, which means conclusion, which is also called Uttara Mimamsa or Brahma Mimamsa, and that is founded by Vyasadev. So we are studying this Gaudiya Vaishnavism thing that I've been referring to, is studying the last one, the Vedanta or the Uttara Mimamsa, which is by Vyasadev. But all of these are accepted in the Vedas, all of these schools, 6 schools of thought. So all of the Astic schools of thought in India are based on the Vedas, but they're all very different. So in the Vedanta, then we have 2 big differences, which is the Advaita and the Dvaita. Advaita was by Sankracharya and Dvaita was by Madhvacharya. Advaita is believing in God as consciousness, as one, as abstract, not as a particular form. So anyone, like in the personal growth world, I think more people are into the Advaita stream, because we say things like we are all one, the concept of oneness and the concept of we are all God, we are all part of God. Like that is Advaita kind of more Advaita kind of concept. And Dvaita is very clearly that God is a different form, is a different being, the same quality as us. So we are the Atma, which is the soul, and the soul is the same quality as God. So it's like a drop of the ocean, and so we are like the drop, which is the same quality as the ocean, but God is the ocean. God is as big as the ocean, and we are as big as the drop, but we are separate from God. And our soul is pure, obviously, because we are the same quality as God. And it's like the mirror, the analogy that's often given in the Hindu philosophies is that our soul is like the mirror, and there is dust on the mirror, and so the dust prevents our soul from remembering who we actually are and remembering that our home belongs with God, that we are connected to God, that we are loved by God, that we do love God, that there is our connection with God is is pure. And so we become entangled in this material world, which is Maya, which is all about money and everything else that the material world brings, and we forget that the true shelter and true nourishment, I like these words, come from God and not from anything material. That is the concept of the Dvaita thing. Now, I have gone through so much personal growth stuff, and I'm not sure where I believe. I'm just telling you what all this believes. So there is a concept of achintya bheda abheda tattva, which is combining the Advaita and the Dvaita thing. But anyways, so the Gaudiya Vaishnava principle follows the Dvaita thing, where we believe that God is different. Specifically, God is Krishna. And God, all of them are God, Vishnu, Brahma, and all of those. Allah is God, and Jesus' dad is God, and everyone is God. But when we pray to the form of Krishna and Radha, then we get to, there are many different levels of heaven that are there, and I don't know what they are. I think there's, I'm not sure what they are. I think Vaikuntha is one of them, but like the ultimate level of heaven is to go to Krishna's place where he lives in the spiritual realm, not in the material realm, and that is Golok Vrindavan, Golok. So that is the ultimate heaven, that is the ultimate goal to get there. So Gaudiya Vaishnava principle follows that. Okay, so that is the Indian schools of thought, and the way to get there, there are 4 books, and that goes into a different thing, but the 4 books are let's see, so Ishopnishad, Nectar of Instruction, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion. So anyways, we will not go into that right now. We are going into Bhagavad Gita, and we're studying that verse by verse. Excuse me. So yeah, so I am, okay. So there's one more thing I would love to talk about, and that is how I feel that personal growth fits into this spiritual growth, and how I feel they're both necessary, and how I feel they both work hand in hand, like beautifully together. And so that is, so I mentioned that the Atma is the same quality as God, and it is pure soul, and it's like the dust on the mirror. So the way I like to explain it is personal growth. So in the scriptures, it is written very clearly that we are all very pure beings, and we are the same quality as God, and our soul is completely pure and everything. Personal growth takes that from the scriptural world and brings it, when it talks to people, it brings it like in your face on day 1, minute 1 that you start personal growth. You are bombarded with this concept that you are pure, you are perfect, you are complete, you do not need to fix anything within yourself, you do not need to do anything, you are pure, and you are beautiful, you are just your perfection, you are everything you need to be. So that is bombarded into us right from the beginning. So it takes something that is in the scriptures and it puts it into day-to-day reality for us, which I find is very, very beautiful. So so what personal growth does, so the way it looks at it is that we are pure and we are covered with fear. So we are pure love and we are covered with fear. And what personal growth helps us do is it takes away step by step, slowly, takes away step by step the each layer of fear out of us. It says like, okay, it doesn't matter, and it is more inclusive. Personal growth, I find, is more inclusive than religion typically is. Religion can get very negative towards atheists or people who don't believe the same God's name or whatever. And Hinduism doesn't really care about whether you believe in the same God's name or not, but many, like, religion can get like that. Personal growth is says it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't even matter if you're murdering somebody every 10 seconds. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. You are pure. You are absolute perfection no matter what, right? No matter what you do, no matter what your external actions are, it doesn't matter. You are pure and you are perfection. And the only reason that you're doing what you're doing is fear. So the concept of dust on mirror, personal growth, I think, explains the same concept by saying fear over your soul, fear over love. So what it says is, forget about your beliefs. You are right now not feeling good for some reason or the other. You're in pain. So let's get you out of pain. Let's get started. It's not a instant process. It's not like an overnight success. It'll take years and you'll be working over layers and layers and layers or whatever. Let's take one tiny step right now. So I will hold your hand. Let's do this. I will hold your hand. You take 1 foot. You take one step in front. You'll have to go through this on your own. I can't go through that for you, but I can hold your hand. And when you're going through it, I might have to leave your hand, but when you're there on the other side, I will be there to catch you. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take that step. Now, I know it's scary. But we'll take one tiny step and you can do it. So, and I'm here for you. So the person takes a tiny step and then we get to the other side and then we're like, okay, you have taken the step. Look at you. You've managed. You've achieved. You're there. You've made it. You've made it to the other side. How do you feel? Do you feel scared? Do you feel euphoric? Do you feel like there's like a lot of after effects of the fear? Do you need to scream? Let's scream. Let's scream together. Let's dance and jump and squeal and celebrate. And I know what you want to do. I know you want to beat yourself up because you've only taken this one tiny step and there are so many hundreds of more steps that you can see ahead of you and you're like beating yourself up. Why have I not done all of those? Like, all of that stuff. But no. We are going to slow down. Like, why don't you just completely slow down right now? Figure out, think, feel into how you were feeling just before you took this step and how you're feeling now. Do you feel a little bit of a difference? Do you feel a change? If you do, yes. Okay, let's celebrate that. Let's honor that. Let's honor ourselves for taking that step and for having the courage to do this. And let's do that. Let's celebrate it. And then from that space of peace within ourselves that we've done something good, not this feeling of like beating ourselves up. Let's go from that stage and take the next step. And then we just keep doing that over and over and over again. And eventually it's not even possible for a human being to go through these steps and uncover the fear and not start to see the absolute magic around them and not start to see God around them. Like automatically everybody will start believing in God. Everybody will start to believe that there's deeper meaning than just the material world around us. This is the deeper spiritual meaning. Like they'll start to see glimpses through the portal of the world. That's what happened to me. Like I went from atheistic, and the personal growth journey brought me to the spiritual world and then to God. And I'm not the only one. I know at least 5 more people who have gone through the exact same thing, going through atheism and spiritualism and believing in God. So yeah, the personal growth world is very effective in doing that. So what I feel the personal growth world does very beautifully is it takes away those layers of fear. And it's a process. Of course, it's a process, but it takes away those layers of fear. And then it puts you, it gets us closer to being able to having that mirror being clear. But then all of these can go into any of those schools of thoughts, right? It can open up the world, the spiritual realms in any direction. It can open up in the Advaita direction. It can open up in the other Vedantic philosophies. It can open up in other philosophies, like, I don't know, the Egyptian philosophies and the Christian and Muslim philosophy. It can open up the world. Like, it is a root cause kind of thing. It is a general thing which opens up the heart. It opens up the heart to love. It removes the fear and opens up and clears the channels to access whichever millions of paths that are there. So then the question is, which path do we choose? And that's where the Gaudiya Vaishnavism thing comes in for me, is that is the path that I choose for myself. I'm saying I want to go into the world of Radha Krishna. I want to be I want to build love for them. I want to be loved by them. That is the path that I'm going to. That is the goal. So personal growth will open up a million different paths, and then this religion or this Gaudiya Vaishnavism school of thought, this Krishna consciousness world, will provide that path about, like, okay, now my world is open. Where do I go from there? Now my heart is open. Now my soul is starting to be open. Which direction do I take from there? And plus, when I choose this direction, then it becomes a catalyst for my growth. It becomes a catalyst for my spiritual growth. My personal growth is much faster. Everything that I do is just much faster because I have now the love of God with me, and I am surrendering to God, and I'm just saying, okay, just take me wherever you want to go. Take me. I don't know why you're giving me everything that you're giving me right now, whether it's pain or joy or whatever. I don't know what the purpose is, but I trust that you have a reason for me, and I trust that you're going to take me in the right direction. So, and that you can do with any school of thought, right? So I'm just choosing the Gaudiya Vaishnavism school of thought, which is the Dvaita school of thought, which comes from Madhvacharya, and then it goes down to where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about 500 years ago came in, and then his disciples. So I'm not going into all of that so much, but so this is where I am. So from the next lesson, I think I've given an overview now of what I'm trying to do. So from the next video onwards, I will go into the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita. So chapter 1, verse 1 it's called 1.1. So I will do 1.1 next verse, and I will be following Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's videos, and so I'll post the links on the description every time I post. And so I'm going to be posting them on YouTube. I'm not sure if I'll be posting them on other podcasts. If I do, I will let you know the links of that as well in the description, but otherwise it'll be there on YouTube. Okay, thank you very much for being here, and if anybody is listening, thank you for being here. And I look forward. I'm very, very excited to study the Gita, and I'm very excited to see where it takes me. I'm not sure how long it'll take. I'm not putting deadlines for myself because I don't work well with deadlines, but I'm very, very excited about this journey, and hopefully it'll help you as well. Thank you.